First, Gaia, it's super nice to have you here and to get the opportunity to speak to you a little bit more. Where did you grow up? I never get the chance to talk to you about these kind of questions.
First of all, it's very nice to be able to chat. And well, I grew up in northern Italy. My mom is from Florence and my dad is from Mogadishu in Somalia. But I think because my parents had both left home when they were quite young and instilled in me the idea that seeing the world is important. It's that, I also, when I was 17, tried to find funding. Neither of my parents are rich, so finding scholarships was really important. So I landed in Southern Africa. So after having lived in Northern Italy for all my life until then, I was in Southern Africa for 2 years. At a school that brought together people from many countries all on scholarships, and some local kids as well, more local from the surrounding areas. So yeah, I was very fortunate to learn a lot about Southern Africa and people coming from all over the place, and realizing that 17-year-olds are crazy all over the world. So I wanted to study marine biology, believe you me. So I don't know if this was going to be one of your questions, maybe. What led me to psychology? Yeah, animal behavior. So big animal behavior, like whales and seals and so on. Mainly, I think, because I always wanted to be by the sea or love the sea. So I thought, oh, marine biology, great. Biology and being by the sea. But the department I was at did a lot of primatology work. So in combination with the psychology department. So I gradually moved from marine mammals to monkeys and non-human primates in general to developmental questions, which is now what I do. So yeah, from whales to monkeys to children has been my transition into psychology, but always with an interest in the brain and neuroscience in between. So yeah, so.
Oh wow, so, that's super fascinating. So I mean, how did you make this transition to psychology? I mean, how did you make this decision?
Well, I think in a way the decision was made for me because the psychology lectures at the beginning of first year were the most interesting ones, definitely. I mean, I knew biology, I knew chemistry, that's what I was doing anyway. And psychology was, in the Scottish system, you choose a third subject. And I thought, well, why not? Give it a go. But the psychology lectures had more of the biology I was interested in than the biology lectures. So, for example, in the first year, it was visual perception taught by a professor called David Parrott, who I don't know if you know, but does a lot of work on monkey and human face recognition. And he came into lectures with color, the color of his clothes were color coordinated, the color of his hair. He really brought visual perception to life. and then we discussed questions about visual illusions and so on. And the lectures on neurobiology was so interesting, like the neuroscience and of human behavior. It was so interesting that gradually I thought, right, this is the biology I'm most interested in.
This vast field of transition for you, and later on in your career, did you have particularly important advices that you remember from mentors or colleagues, something that stuck with you?
I don't know if I have one most important one. I have to reel out a few, I think. For example, look after your PhD students. in all sorts of ways, make sure that they're happy and that they're happy as scientists. You will be happy as a scientist. This was my PhD supervisor who said this. So I hope I made her happy. I was certainly happy. Then I had pragmatic advice, which was great, which was never commit to anything that you're not prepared to do tomorrow. If somebody asked you tomorrow to do it, would you do it? It was like great advice from my colleague, Kate Nation.
Yeah, thanks for this great advice. And thank you for carving out a little bit of time to probe you with some questions. It's really great to hear from you.
It's fun, and thank you guys.